And that left what? 1 year, you say?
There's 1 year left now out of those 13 years. In June next year, in June of 2012, there's another Venus transit. That's where Venus passes in between the Sun and the Earth. The last one happened 8 years ago. The next one isn't for 100 and something years. When that happens, the vibrational frequency of pure love, of heart chakra, will be extremely strong on this planet for the first time. And anything that's discordant or polarized to that heart frequency of love will not be able to remain. That's what that covenant that God told us about was about. He said, if you don't fight, eventually all those who still wish to fight will destroy themselves by the very laws of creation. And I see every affirmation of that is what's happening. Heart attacks, material breakdown of people who believe in material breakdown. But any of us who believe in eternal life, which isn't immortality of the physical, that's not what we mean by immortal life, eternal life. What we mean by that is reincarnation. The same immortal spirit lives day after day, lifetime after lifetime. Any questions about what I'm saying, Dan? It's a lot, you know. But
Well, I don't know. I must admit that I do feel very uncomfortable with any predictions. And you have made a prediction in May, in May, and I guess we'll see, won't we? With these predictions, it's very bold to make predictions.
Forget the prediction for a minute, though.
Okay.
Apart from the prediction, everything else I'm saying, have you anything to comment on that?
Well, there's a lot to take in, and I think it's really fascinating. And I think a lot of people who see this will not understand it, and then there'll be lots who will really get it, and they will resonate, I think is the best word, resonate with your message and your energy.
And if you choose to put it up, Danny, if you choose to put it up, and if people do watch it to this end, when you're putting up your comments, put up your comments, but if you have questions, even if you have hundreds of questions each, just put the questions up and we'll make more videos.
Okay. Great, thanks.
Peace be.
So you were saying about the free man stuff.
And from what I've just said, you're saying you'd like to video it, and I'm saying okay. But I'm letting you all know, man, I'm reticent about coming out with all this information, but it's time. It has to. Bravery and all the rest of it. With the Freeman stuff, most of the people I've met talking about the Freeman stuff are relatively all talking rubbish. They don't really get where it's coming from. They don't get the basis of it. Aboriginal people get it. Romany gypsies get it. Traveller people get it. When I first came across that there was this Freeman thing going on out there in the world and the internet, I was like, this is great. Fantastic. Brilliant. Now people know. And that's true. But most of the people I've met through the Freeman thing since don't realise how old it all goes back. They don't realise who made the laws. They don't realise that what the Freeman thing is about the land, and it's about honouring the land. It's about honouring your own body. It's about honouring your own spirit and your connection to spirit. And that's what being sovereign is. It's to do with your seventh chakra, and not being controlled by the Pope. Because it's the Pope who's given kings the rights to own countries, and then given nations the right to turn countries into fields in straight line distinctions. And it's still the Pope who's allowing that to become businesses, raping the earth, conquering it. That's what the Freeman thing is really dealing with. It's not for getting off with something in court. it's fair enough, it's to learn the language of the people who are speaking in tongues among themselves in a language that we are not privy to. And when I seen that people out there on the internet are into the free man thing, that somebody's got the Black's Law dictionary and started reading it and figured out how to decode it, I was like, great, this is the stuff that we already know. But it's become a new age thing, it's being spread through technology now. And within a week I got arrested 3 times in 3 days, as I mentioned a little earlier. Within a week. Just because I walked around with an extra air of freedom in me. And because in my personal life, rage had been put into me about my son being taken away and this kind of thing. And that's personal. But for the free man thing, in my view what it's for is for reclaiming Britain, reclaiming Ireland, reclaiming the world from some alien people who have created alien nations and who are alienating native people, extraditing us, calling us illegal aliens, insisting that we have to have a Nazi passport to be able to pass through the Nazi ports, through the Nazi soldiers, with the Nazi machinery scanning our auras and everything to see if there's any light in us.
It's quite interesting, by the way, that they use the term illegal alien, which seems to be in a position...
Illegal aliens. So I'm not slagging anyone off about Freeman stuff, I'm just saying that what my people see in the Freeman thing is, great, people are realising that you can step back through history and understand how things got to be the way they are. I'm saying step back far enough and you come across Brehon law. In Ireland you don't have to go back far at all, 100 years. And Brehon law was still the common law, was still spoken in a different language. By English legalese and the bar of the Crown, to be able to arrest me, they had to claim that I was part of their society. Now, I've never felt part of their society. I've always felt estranged. I've always felt exiled and unwelcome in their society. So they've made an assumption that I'm part of their society when, to be quite honest, I'm not. I'm part of a pre-Gaelic, pre-Christian society. My people are still pre-Gaelic and pre-Christian. Dúdé Danan is anam dum. Tá mé caintas Gaelga. I am not part of English society, but I am native British. I am born in London. I remember that London is named after Lugh. It's the town of Lugh. And that was a megalithic town. And the ley lines that St. Paul's is built on, and all these ley lines that run through London that have all these Masonic temples on them and all that. We built the first structures on those ley lines. We laid the patterns. And it has taken them thousands of years to build their encampments on top of our places and to push us off to the side. But look at me, man, I'm still wandering around free in London. They haven't pushed me out at all. Our people are all still here and everywhere. But we haven't been wiped out at all. And as free men, we still live here. We still do what we want. We still light fires wherever we want. And like you, Danny, you're like a native human. When that policeman spoke to you and you're able to speak back to that policeman and hold your ground and just speak with logic and say, look man, there isn't actually a problem here apart from you creating one, but there is no problem, and me giving you £80 to the system so we can buy more uranium bombs isn't going to help any problem that didn't exist in the first place. Thank you, officer. Goodbye. And you did that very well as far as I'm concerned in that video. You top marks for it. It's the best video I've seen. My intention is to go into court, not the next time I go into court next week. There's more Tai Chi to do in terms of education, to draw out what is within. But at some point in one of these future court cases where they're just going to bring me back again and again because I don't have £1,000 to pay their prosecution costs for something that never really happened in the first place. I just don't have it. So they're going to continue hounding me, bringing me back to court, anyway. So I have...
It's a great concept, isn't it? It's a great concept. That
umpteen invitations in the future stringed out like beads in which to go into the court.
Yeah. I was going to...
And just speak like an honest man. No contempt, no blame, no controversy. A mistake might have happened in terms of a court system having no empathy and no ability to listen to a man's own version of what happened. And the court has never heard from me what happened. The only people who've heard what happened was the two policemen in that interview. That interview never got played. But I've all the time in the world to iron this thing out with them in terms of my own personal freedom. But my bigger issue is the war against our people all over this planet. That's what I want to speak to the courts about. That's what I want to speak to the Crown about. I don't really like sitting in front of this camera. My heart is racing a little bit and fluttering, skipping the odd beat with some of the things I'm saying here to say them essentially out to the world through the internet, to 20,000 people or whatever in the next day. I mean, that's lunacy to me. However, I'm willing to do this thing, to be a spokesperson for the native people of the planet. And to say that what's happening is wrong, and that there's a way out of it. That there's a way where the courts can agree with us native people about how to solve this. That there's a way for the good people in the Parliament to find a way out of this. That there's a way for anyone who is being controlled by a paedophilia cult to find a way out of it. For anyone who is beginning to realise that they're quite brainwashed by their own education, to learn how to become in touch with intuition. It's not hard as they make it out to be. It's ever present. It's everywhere. Any more questions, Danny? Even one?
No, for the moment.